Sparring a bunch of world champion heavyweights. I think Lawrence Okolie did that to me. He's like 6'6", 270.
That Jake does.
I think it's ChatGPT's lying to him. I think he needs to say on ChatGPT, give me it raw, uncut, and don't filter your answers. He's probably typed in ChatGPT, do you think I can beat Anthony Joshua? And it's been like, great question. Anthony came off a shocking loss in September. You have a great chance, Jake.
Any evidence as to how hard the sparring is or what they're doing. It might just be that they're tech sparring, like I said, but Jake isn't handling it too well, that he's getting clipped by them and they're just that much bigger and heavier that he can't quite take the power. His face is getting marked up.
Jake Paul has reportedly been knocked out by a heavyweight sparring partner. While preparing for his upcoming fight against Anthony Joshua, he was recently seen with a bruised and swollen eye, which he explained was the result of a sparring session with Lawrence Okolie. The injury immediately raised concerns about the intensity of his training and the risks involved as he gears up to face a former heavyweight champion.
Sparring? Sparring a bunch of world champion heavyweights. I think Lawrence Okolie did that to me. He's like 6'6", 270.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you weighing right now?
I'm like 215.
And you gotta get to what weight to fight AJ?
218, 220.
What's AJ's weight? 220?
He'll be like 250 in the ring.
Huh? 250?
Yeah.
Jake, 250 pounds he's gonna fight at.
Boxing insider Joey Knight revealed that Jake Paul has been sparring with elite heavyweight fighters, including Lawrence Okolie, Frank Sanchez, and Jared Anderson. During these sessions, Paul showed visible signs of damage, highlighting just how extreme the sparring has been. Knight described this stretch as the toughest week of Paul's career, noting that the power, size, and skill of his sparring partners caused serious physical wear. The bruises and marks left on Paul underscore the brutal demands of preparing for a fighter of Anthony Joshua's caliber. According to Knight, even controlled rounds with top heavyweights are pushing Paul into unfamiliar and dangerous territory, testing his readiness like never before.
In him because, like, they don't believe it because they're saying, how is he beating these guys? I think they can't get their head around, how did he beat Anderson Silva? How did he beat Nate Diaz? How did he beat Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's no stipulation in the contract where I have to take it easy on him.
Yeah. Are you excited for this one, Anthony?
Yeah, really. I've trained really hard, so I'm looking forward to putting my skill.
Metro 3 Jake Paul's decision to spar with elite heavyweights has drawn heavy scrutiny from both analysts and fans. While Paul built his name by facing notable but carefully selected opponents, this camp has exposed just how steep the challenge against Anthony Joshua truly is. Training footage shows Paul dealing with overwhelming power from heavyweight sparring partners, revealing weaknesses that were not obvious in his previous fights. Respected analyst Wade points out that these sparring sessions highlight a major vulnerability. Reports that Paul was knocked out in practice suggest he may struggle with the raw strength and punching power of experienced heavyweights, raising serious doubts about whether his confidence matches.
Who, if nothing else, is still known as a bit of a puncher, and Jake Paul has done even better in being able to legitimately put him on his arse. But that's one level of sparring. To be precise, that level is ranked 249th by BoxRec when it's looking at heavyweights. And when BoxRec looks at heavyweights, you have to go all the way up the list to find number 5 ranked, Lawrence Okolie. That is who Jake Paul has been sparring with over these past few weeks.
Trouble finding Hussein Mohammed early on.
And a lot of you guys will know this because Jake Paul showed the bruises and marks on his face and said that it was Lawrence Okolie that had done that. And faces don't necessarily tell you how a spar went. Some guy can have blood all over him, he can have a busted up nose, but he still won the rounds in sparring. But I can only imagine that this week has been a very, very humbling experience for Jake Paul. In fact, the past few weeks will have been eye-opening for Jake Paul. A past few weeks where he has sparred the likes of Lawrence Okolie, of Jared Anderson, and of Frank Sanchez as well. And being that I have seen Jake Paul go life and death with Tommy Fury, you can guarantee you that Okolie, that Anderson, and that Frank Sanchez have basically manhandled Jake Paul in there. And that experience would have been somewhat of a dawn of realization upon Jake Paul that this is actually happening.
Paul's sparring shows him repeatedly getting caught on the chin by heavyweights, leaving visible marks and demonstrating the physical toll of these sessions. Training with fighters like Lawrence Okolie represents a level of intensity far beyond anything Paul has faced before. Observers note that the combination of size, power, and technical ability in these sparring partners is exposing limitations in Paul's defense, durability, and overall resilience.
Joshua, massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the bar knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on, and then he got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
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 How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he wants it to be over.
Thank you. So do you think it's going to be real, this fight? Do you think it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking. What's he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do you think he's improved enough to make competitive? Unless...
5 analyst Castillo offers a blunt assessment, stating that stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua would be brutal for Jake Paul. He believes that even with intense and demanding sparring, Paul's chances of surviving Joshua's knockout power are extremely slim. Castillo adds that lasting even 3 rounds against Joshua would already be a significant achievement. The message is clear: sparring with heavyweights can provide experience, but it cannot fully prepare someone for the sustained pressure, skill, and power of an elite former champion. The gap between influencer boxing and a true world-class heavyweight fight remains enormous.
But the thing is, for me, the black eye is not really evidence of a whole lot. For all I know, they're just tech sparring. They're saying, right, Lawrence, go in there. You're just going to jab Jake this round. Jake, you're going to practice defense. Right, Lawrence, Jake's going to try and knock you out this round. There's different kinds of sparring. Not all sparring is at full speed. In fact, a lot of sparring isn't. Lawrence could easily have given him that black eye by just landing a simple jab to his face. It's not indicative of any kind of intensity. It doesn't give away any information about how Jake is actually getting on in there. Even the best fighters will come out of training camp with a mark here and there. The other thing that we saw and that was called out in a recent interview clip was that Jake's nose looked slightly bent to the side and slightly swollen. It was called out by the interviewer, and Jake said, yes, it was Frank Sanchez who gave that to me.
You broke your nose? Is this new? I'm seeing your nose. Your nose is that from the same show?
More crooked, brother. I'm not gonna lie. The sparring, the heavyweights, my nose has moved a couple millimeters to this camp. A guy by the name of Frank Sanchez, he definitely cracked it a little bit, so it definitely has a slight little something in there. It's bad.
Frank,
see that? Wait, hold on. Look at that, dude.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, Frank.
Simon Jordan, speaking alongside a TalkSport host, has emphasized Joshua's one-punch knockout power and how it dramatically raises the stakes for Paul. As the fight draws closer, it is being viewed less as an exhibition and more as a genuinely dangerous contest. Analysts stress that Joshua's ability to end a fight with a single shot is not hypothetical. It is backed by years of experience as a heavyweight champion with elite timing, technique, and devastating power. While Paul's heavyweight sparring is meant to prepare him for these moments, even seasoned observers agree that training cannot replicate the full intensity of a live professional.
Well, you got different types of power. You got the power that you generate, like in sparring and on the heavy bag, and I'm controlling the sparring partners pretty well. I'm hitting them hard. They're hitting me hard. We're doing good rounds, and then the power in the gym hasn't dropped off either, so that's good. It's all round.
Okay, because Anthony, you know, and people have already started saying this. Is there any clause that says you need to go?
Metro 7 David Hay adds another perspective by examining Jake Paul's mindset. He suggests that Paul may believe he can approach this fight using the same strategies that worked in his earlier bouts. Hay notes that betting on Paul to win would require imagining highly unlikely scenarios, such as controversial decisions that ignore clear skill gaps. Analysts view Paul's choice to spar with heavyweights as both bold and risky. While the sessions may help him understand power and improve endurance, they also expose the harsh difference between preparation and reality. Once Paul steps into the ring with Anthony Joshua, he will face challenges that no amount of sparring can truly simulate.
Dicks about it. Some guy will look great on the mitts. Oh, well, the mitts doesn't count. It's like, well, it kind of does count. If I have you working out on the mitts from a year ago, and I have a new tape today, and I can juxtapose those, I actually can see some timing. I actually can see some speed. I actually can see some footwork. I can see some power, and I can compare it. Now, Jake is in a wildly difficult spot. Boxing is unlike, by example, track and field. Track and field is all about personal records. You do not need to be faster than the guy standing next to you. Right? Now you can win and you can get trophies on that, but it's not actually your goal that your coach is working on you with. You just today want to be faster, throw further, jump higher than a previous version of yourself. Boxing doesn't work that way. It is straight. It doesn't matter how good you are. It is 100% comparative to how good is this guy. I understand that. But as human beings, we have to start somewhere. And I think there are many things that are going to be wins for Jake. I do not subscribe to the idea. Now he does. He will not agree with me, but an older version of himself, as he looks back, will see that the Chael makes a very fair point. There's a